Hey guys, Dr. Jordan Miller here with Integrated Health Solutions, and today's video we are going to be talking about a great stretch for the back side of the upper hip and the glute muscles. Now, in today's day and age, we are seated in a more sedentary population than we really ever have been, honestly. Whether you have a job where you sit at a desk all day and you work in front of a computer, or whether you drive long periods of time and you're seated in your car bundled up, all of that amount of time where we spend not being active and not using and moving our muscles like normal creates that stiff rigidity in the muscles that then leads to decreased range of motion, increased amounts of tightness and pain. So one great stretch that you can do, what we do at IHS here called the pigeon stretch. It is an amazing stretch for that piriformis and that upper gluteal musculature here. I prefer it in a seated position. You can also do it different variations in a face up position or from a standing position leaning into something. But today we're going to go over how to do it in a seated position. What you're going to do is you are going to start with the leg that you are trying to stretch on the back side of the hip, and you are going to elevate the foot and the ankle onto the top of the other knee. One hand is going to be used to stabilize that foot, just to create that stability to make sure that you're not slipping off of the leg, while the other hand is going to apply a very gentle pressure on the knee, pushing down towards the ground. Now, the aim of this pressure is just to simply open up and externally rotate the hip. You are not trying to physically create a parallel alignment with the floor. So if you're someone who's really tight and your knee normally kind of starts in this position and you can really only get it to here, it's perfectly fine. The goal is not to get it completely straight. Whenever you feel like you've maxed out that range of motion, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your chest and your upper body and bring it up nice and tall and straight, okay? Next position, you're going to take the chest and you're going to bring it directly forward. Now, it's very important here, we are not bringing it down. So the goal is not to take the chest and bring it towards the shin. The goal is, what I tell my patients is to pretend like there's a string in the middle of your chest and someone is standing on the opposite side of the room in front of you and simply pulling you towards them. So looking at it from the side, number one, making sure the body is nice and tall and very straight. The goal is not to, number one, bring the chest down towards the leg, and number two, it is not to round and roll. You don't want to see that flexion in the back. You want to keep it nice and tall, and you are more going to create a hip hinging motion by leaning the body forward. And as you create that leaning, you're going to feel immediately that good stretch on the upper portion of the hips. Now, some people also say that they feel a little bit of stretch pulling into the IT band, and some even say they can feel it up into their lower back as well. The posterior chain is obviously all connected, so if you are very stiff and rigid and your muscles have created this binding compensation, 100% okay if you're feeling it in those areas as well, congruently with that upper portion of the hip. Now, as we get a little bit more on the mature side, the number one goal about stretching kind of flips from when we're younger. Right? When we're young, we're able to take a really, really intense short stretch. When you're getting ready, let's say for a sporting event or a practice or something, your body's a little bit more fluid. You're a little bit more flexible and pliable. So you have that ability to take a really intense stretch in a short period of time and maintain efficiency. Now, as we get older, we decrease our activity, so we're not moving around as much, and we've created a little bit more stiffness and rigidity. The body actually flips in what it is that it needs. So what I tell all of my patients is we need to do a little bit less on the intensity scale and a little bit more on the time scale. Okay, so for this specific stretch, what I recommend on an intensity of 1 to 10, I really don't want you maxing out more than about a 4 or a 5. Okay, if you're at the point where you're really leaning forward, you're making those kind of grimacing faces, you're feeling that pain start to shoot up and you can really only hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, you're pulling and pushing way too far. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to lean forward until we can feel the minor intensity in that stretch, and we simply hold. I recommend this done at least 30 seconds, but around 45 to 60 is just that much more beneficial. Holding this really good stretch is going to open up the range of motion and allow for these muscles to really breathe. But the most important part, please always be symmetrical, right? You're always going to then bring the other leg up, whether you have pain and tightness or not. You want to create that even symmetry on both sides. So you lean the body nice and tall, pushing that knee down, hinge at the waist, and lean forward to a moderate stretch, and we simply hold. If you're able to maintain your leg comfortably in this position without fear of the foot sliding off, you can also remove your hands. So you can be on your phone, you can be doing this at your desk at work, you can do it while you're eating dinner or lunch. We can obviously multitask, because I know we're all busy, we all got stuff going on, but it doesn't mean that we don't make time for the important things to make sure that these don't build up and to create larger, a little bit more intense problems as well. So try this one out. I recommend it a good 2 or 3 times a day, but the more the merrier. Do it as much as you can while you're seated. Create that mobility and get that blood flowing into the hips to make sure that that pain, that tightness, is a thing of the past. We'll see you next time, guys.